Hey, good morning, Monument Fire. My name's Adam Cola. I'm one of the plans chief with the Alaska team. This is the morning briefing for Thursday, August 19th into Friday morning, August 20th, for a 24-hour shift and a 24-hour shift plan. For those of you out at camp, a couple reminders. If you could, turn your radios and cell phones down for the remainder of the briefing. I'll remind you to turn those back up at the end. Also, COVID mitigations and protocol, please put that mask on around your counterparts and try to keep your distance as possible. As far as the Monument Fire goes this morning, acreage update, 135,714 acres, 10% containment, 900 personnel, $21.7 million. And we'll start off with Operations Karen Scholl with a review of the current situation.
Good morning, folks. So last night, Night Patrol was out and about. They had a little bit of a reorganization last night, and that will be reflected in today's IAP, getting folks more aligned with our day shift so we have better handoffs. So thanks for taking the time to do that last night. I know everyone's itching to get out onto the line, but that's real important for us to make sure we have good accountability and what we're doing between night and day actually makes sense. So appreciate that effort. Over in Alpha, Night Alpha, continued to patrol over on the very west end of their division. Everything is looking good where the firing had happened previous nights. A little bit of cleanup and still nursing the fire down around the structures out in the Underwood N60 area. Everything stayed pat around Echo, not a lot of fire behavior. You'll see it on your IR map, not a lot of movement overnight. Things were dampened down, obviously. And then over in the Division Union overnight, continued to patrol and mop up. And they aided down a little bit into the south zone, just with some patrol and monitoring and helping where they could there. And then night resources down, the new night contingency. We're helping down in the very far south, around drop point 75, doing some patrolling and mopping up and helping with our neighbors there. And then over in Zulu, kept an eye out just west of DP 36 in that little triangle in the hay press area. So good mop up and patrol there. Everything looked good overnight. Thanks for night shift, and that's your morning update.
All right, thank you, Karen. As far as the incident objectives go, please review those. They're inside the front cover of your IAP. They're back on page 3. There was one objective change kind of near the end of the objectives. I believe it falls in number 9. Coordinate with CAL FIRE Team 5 to provide a unified strategy and consistent public messaging for the north and south zones. Also, you'll notice on that same page a couple control objectives in there. I'll go ahead and read those. This is big box control objectives. Keep the fire north of Highway 3 and Highway 36. Keep the fire south of the Siskiyou and Trinity County line while preserving wilderness characteristics. Keep the fire east of the South Fork of the Trinity River and New River. And keep the fire west of Highway 3. Next, we'll go to weather.
All right, good morning, Ryan Walburn, incident meteorologist. So humidity recovery was actually pretty good across the fire last night, early this morning. Looks like values anywhere between 40 to 60%, so some pretty good recoveries. Point of emphasis today is we're waking up, looking at the satellite, still a lot of smoke. Most of that's actually coming from the fires to our north, the river complex. Right now it looks like it's actually covering most of the north zone this morning. So smoke's going to drive the fire environment again today, keep things more stable. Temperature's a little cooler and humidity's a little higher. Probably the biggest thing for everybody to be aware of is that wind direction continues to be from the northeast, so that'll be favorable in branch 10, wind on your back. Zulu and Alpha, those winds aloft, that northeast direction will continue to be adverse to the line. Down at ground level, if you're measuring at eye level, you're not going to see much wind, but it's up above 5,000 feet or so where those strong winds will continue to be the biggest concern today. Late in the afternoon, out in Burnt Ranch, near the New River, out in Echo, might see a little bit of a westerly push, but nothing too strong. So, again, I think smoke's going to be the main driver today, and just be aware that the winds aloft are very different than what you're feeling at the surface. Thanks.
Brad Walsh of Fire Behavior. I bring your attention to behind the fire behavior forecast is a fuels and fire behavior advisory that was issued the other day. This advisory is for the extreme drought that they've had, the persistent extreme drought that they've had, and the effect that's had on the fuels. Very little snowpack and very little spring precipitation this last year. So just take time today to review that with your folks. This advisory is not only for our fire area, but all of Northern California, other than some of the areas along the coastal ranges. With that, that's not only impacting our fire, but other fires, and those other fires are having an impact on our fire. Yesterday was anticipating maybe a little more fire behavior or activity with the fire behavior, considering that eastern component, but we didn't get enough of an eastern component to clear out the fire behavior. In the safety message, do note that, if we do get clear air, anticipate those fuels that have just kind of been smoldering around and chunking around for a while to become active. Also, with what the meteorologist talked about, have that eastern component, but if we do get that western component, be heads up for, some eddying and some squirrely winds out there that could impact your fire behavior. Thanks, and have a great day.
All right, Karen Scholl with your plan for today. So we'll start in branch 1 and up around drop point 52. We need to continue to have a presence in there and continue to watch this and make sure that around the structures, fire is holding and structures are secure. Continue the mop up from the branch break to the west all the way around to Burnt Ranch. In the River Contingency Group, understand that there's some hose pulling and that sort of thing happening, so we're going to continue that today through from Big Bar down through Del Loma all the way out to Burnt Ranch, and then continue with your scouting and planning out the game for the Trinity community up to the west. Up in Echo, the Big Creek, walking equipment into the Big Creek Road and starting to get that push in down to the new river, as well as picking up the slop along the road a little bit further to the east. That's a good stroke in there to get that kind of wrapped up, and then obviously continue with the moving equipment around the Denny Road in anticipation of getting the dozer line near Hawkins Bar put in. Over in Branch 10, the main focus remains the prep of the Hobo Gulch Road and points to the north. We're really getting a good prep work completed as far up as we're working up there. Also monitoring and the spots down on the North Fork where they came across, and see if there's anything that we can do with those. And then provide and assist a patrol along the 299 and assist with CAL FIRE in the adjoining zone there wherever we can. Down in Branch 40, super important this morning that the new contingency group is tying in with CAL FIRE where we join zones down there, making sure we have a good plan for what they're bringing and how we're going to tie that together as it moves towards the northwest and up into Division Zulu. And of course Zulu, continue with the hay press area, make sure we're getting a good mop up in there and securing what we have, as well as prepping the road out Pattison Ridge, and continue with those efforts. We'll also have some folks out in Hay and Palm area doing some scouting in anticipation of building a group out to the west in the next couple of days. So today, hopefully just a few less moving parts now that the transition is in place. So again, just make sure that you understand who you're working for, where you're working, and what you're going to do in case anything adverse happens, whether that's a medical or fire behavior or a traffic accident, any of those kinds of things. Make sure you're just staying aware and you know what to do. All right, you guys have a good day. Thanks.
morning. Mike McGuire, Air Operations. We were lucky enough to get some additional aircraft in on the South Zone. So our contingent today total is 5 Type 1 helicopters, 3 Type 2s, and 3 Type 3 helicopters. So we've increased our numbers, about doubled. If Air Attack is up, we'll order our aircraft through Air Attack. If not, you can order through Helibase. The UASs are ordered and coordinated by operations and branch. The National Guard ship that's been here and available has only been nighttime only, and as of today it goes 24/7, so we now have that resource around the clock. We added a new air-to-ground tactical for the South Zone. It's on the 220, and I'm assuming that'll be in the new clone today. If not, it is on the 220, listed as Air Tactical South, air-to-ground South. And if you have any questions about any of that, refer to the 220 and the IAP.
Greg Loquist, ComHealth trainee. That's correct. This morning, everyone will need a clone. There are minor changes to the existing zones, and the new South Zone has been added. The IP now has 3 incident communications plans, 205s. Page 38, Monument North Fire. Page 39, Monument North Fire IA. Page 40, Monument South. Try to remember those assigned to Monument North will contact North Communications on command. Those in the South Zone will use South Communications on command. Additionally, one last reminder, Command 5 repeater has been placed on Ironside Lookout, returning normal comms to Division Alpha and Division Echo. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Tom Greeling, safety trainee for the Alaska team. The Alaska team recently arrived, but I want to acknowledge the folks that have been out there working every day for a while, that have been plugged in hard and looking out for your brothers and sisters and yourselves with safety. Those folks that are approaching their demob date, I know it's easy to start drifting towards your thoughts of home and demobbing and what that's going to look like for you, but we're asking you to stay mentally checked in until you've been physically checked out and released, and then the mission is to get home safely. We'll try to manage your thoughts of demob and going home when you're off shift and maybe back at your tent or something like that, but please keep that in mind. You're doing a great job. Have a safe day. Thank you.
Morning, Meredith Lund, Medical. The first thing I want to talk about is on the back page, the medical incident report, your favorite topic. We do have medical staff out there. They are running around with UTVs, they have pickup trucks, but I want to call your attention to number 4, which is the transport plan. That's something that you can pre-plan for your area on the fire line in order for you to begin to have an arrangement of how you're going to begin to get those people that may be injured in your side of the fire out to where we can get them as medical staff. So that's your homework for today. Start to plan that transport plan based on where you are. Now to the front page, which is also my favorite place to talk about. Today I want to talk about elephants. Basically, how to eat an elephant. You can either eat it by swallowing it whole, or you can eat it one bite at a time. So, by swallowing it whole, COVID is not going away. We know that it's here. We know that it's in camp. We know that it's in Reading. We know that it's in the United States. Our best way to do that, the first reaction that we want to do is to try and swallow that COVID elephant whole and make it go away. The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Same thing with COVID. On the bottom of the front page, you have the COVID hotline. If you call that number and then you look on the inside of that cover, the first bite of the elephant is that COVID hotline. Second bites, we will walk you through it so that we get through it. Everybody digest that elephant. We can go on and continue to do our job. Stay safe and have a great day.
Good morning, Luann Grover Finance. So yesterday we talked about putting the North Zone on your timesheets, your shift tickets. So today I have a caveat to that. If you are on loan to the South Zone, please put South Zone on your ticket. And the people who are assigned to the North Zone are the ones who have a resource order number under 10,000. So it's usually their 3-digit numbers. Please put that on there. For us in finance, as you know, we just sit in the room and put in what you tell us to. We have no idea what's really going on out there, which we wish we knew more about. However, so please put your zones on your shift tickets and CTRs, and have a safe day. Thank you.
Okay, Adam Cola again from Plans. Want everyone to pay attention to pages 47 and 49, particularly if you're planning on leaving this assignment in the next 3 to 5 days. Pages 47 to 49 will have the DMOB instructions. It's a virtual process. There's also a DMOB schedule in there for those of you leaving in the next 24 to 48 hours. When you look at the schedule, look at the far right-hand column. There's going to be some times in there, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1300. Whatever those times are, please respect them. It helps our virtual DMOB arrange those calls and schedule those calls and the traffic there. So please respect those times on the DMOB schedule. Also a reminder, QR code on the front of the IAP. That's kind of a one-stop shop there for check-in instructions. You have finance, email addresses, digital CTRs, along with all that good DMOB stuff. Appreciate it, guys.
Good morning, Chuck Russell, Deputy IC with the Alaska team. I just want to 3 words from a couple of our objectives that we have within the IAP. And the first one is provide for firefighters. You've got an incident management team that we are constantly looking for opportunities to get you what you need to be successful out on the line. If you have any questions or any concerns, you can find somebody with a blue shirt at any one of your camps, and we're going to find a way to say yes. We're going to find a way to provide what you need so that you can be successful. So please give us that feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you need so that you can be successful. We recognize in some of your camps that you're eating a lot of smoke. We're looking at ways to fix that. So we're thinking about you. We want you to know that. The other thing is that you can help us. One of the objectives in the IEP is maintain and enhance relationships. You guys are the face of the franchise. You are in the communities that are being impacted by the same smoke, by the same issues that you've been facing each day as far as this fire goes. So what I would ask from you is that you help us develop those relationships. We're going to be leaving here in 14 days, and the forest and those communities are going to remember one thing, and that's not necessarily how well we fought fire, but how we treated them and the effort that we put in for them and in their behalf. So I want you to focus on that. And I appreciate all the efforts that you've given us this far, and take some time for yourself today. Have a good shift.
All right, everyone, that concludes the briefing today for August 19th through tomorrow morning, August 20th. Division breakouts will happen there at your briefing area at camps. They should be signed out there. If you're unassigned, you don't know where you're working, you're not seeing yourself on the IEP, see one of those branch directors. They should also be floating around. They're out in camp. You may have a local briefing immediately after this that'll include some logistics information pertinent and relevant to your area. If you turn your radios and cell phones off, thank you very much, but don't forget to turn them back on. Have a great day. Take care of your brothers and sisters.